Okay, Christmas. There we go. What have we? Oh, KV-220. 6,500 gold. Let's see how this works out. Okay, what's the package? 6,500 gold, £21.70. So that's not too bad. So basically €30. Interesting. It's a very nice tank. I've got it. I'm going to do a nice review on it for you. So bear with me a moment. Okay, I've just looked for a replay and I realised I've never done a KV-220 review before. So let's get into it for the first time. So KV-220, the armour is immense. For a tier 5, it's very, very good. The armour is basically very similar to the KV-3 with 120 on the front and 100 on the sides, whereas the tier 7 has got 130 and 115, but they're very, very similar, and we can have a look at that now. So looking at the shape, it's this KV sort of size. Let's have a look at the KV-3. KV-3 is very similar, but with a different turret and just that little bit more armor, the extra 15mm on the sides. But the turret is the difference. So the KV-220 hasn't got such a strong turret. It's only got a 90mm on the front and 75mm on the side. So that's the weak spot. The armor itself is very strong. So let's have a look at the armor profile. So looking at the model, the best place to angle the tank for firing is over the tracks and aiming at the road wheel here. Aiming over this section, which will give you from about 150. Let's angle it properly. Okay, from about 158, the sides going up to about 235mm. The track area starts about 180, goes up to roughly the same, that 270mm. You've got some weak spots in between, but they're very difficult to hit, which can be only around about 170 to 180mm, but they're very, very thin shots. The rest of it is over 210mm equivalent. The front, like the lower plate, if you're firing up at this, if it's firing over a hill, you're unlikely to see the lower plate, but the lower plate is from 140 up to about 160mm. The upper plate starts on about 230, goes up to about 260mm. This upper section starts about 200, goes up to about 215. This flat plate starts about 160, goes up to about just under 180. These weak spots aren't really weak spots, about 168mm, 164mm, so they're relatively weak, but they're not weak. So the turret itself, from the front, you're looking this area, apart from the flat area, you're looking about 180mm. So even though it's only armour of 75mm, because of the additional armour and the sloping, you're looking at about 183mm, even when it's aiming at you. But the flattened area, which is a small area here, and on the other side, is only about 75. This side is hard. That's a weak spot. The blue area around is a weak spot, but it's incredibly small, so you may pull off an amazing shot and get it. This area here, even though it's 90mm, is effectively 93, but with the angling sloping, you're looking very, very bouncy. Underneath, you're looking at areas about 80mm because of the angling and sloping. Up above, similar 80mm. No weak spots at the top, you're still looking about 80mm. If it's turned away, then you're looking even higher amounts of armour. Very, very strong. And you come into the sides, the angling and sloping is an auto bounce, and it's the equivalent of about 160mm. So if he's waggling the turret, turning in between shots, it's even tougher to hit. If it's turned away, there's this area here which is only about 80mm. So this is potentially a weak spot, but the rest of it is generally very, very tough. So all in all, this is a very, very tough tank. Now let's move on and look at the gun. Before we go back, I'll show you those weaker areas, which is around here, the mantlet, which is very, very tough, and slightly weak area on the side there, which you may get that pen. But the rest of it is incredibly strong. Even underneath, you've just got a slight weak spot here, there under the gun, but the rest of it with the angling and sloping is very, very tough. So this is an awesome tank armor wise. So yes, now let's go on to the gun. Okay, the Zeiss 5, 76mm, 14 shots per minute. But the standard one that's on the KV, the KVIS, and the T150 has got a rate of fire of 15 rounds per minute. So you're losing 1 shot a minute. So that's an additional potential of say, additional 110 per minute. So instead of the standard that this gets, which is the 1540, you'd be up at 1650 with a standard KV. But you get the armour, and that's what this tank is renowned for. Plus, that this used to get preferential matchmaking. According to this, it's showing that it sees 5 to 7, but I'm sure that it will only see tier 6 and has preferential matchmaking, which is really, really good. So let's get on with that and start a game, and I can show you what this is like. Before we get into a game, I'll say about the setup. I'm running it with vents, rammer, and binoculars to give it a view range standard of 342 meters, extended view range with binoculars of 428, and a rate of fire of 14 rounds per minute. So let's see how this actually runs and get into a battle straight in, off the bat, as though you've just set this tank up, you put a crew in, and we'll see what this can actually do in practice. So here we are, Sand River, only tier 5s, and which leads me to believe that the standard preferential matchmaking you've got with it is still holding sway. So let's get into to this game, see what we can actually do. So Sand River, I'm going to push down the heavy line, try and get some shots on. Use the view range and the binocular range to help take the enemy to pieces, and as we saw with the angling, aim over the side and maximise the potential of the vehicle. But there's 3 RT on the other side, which could be a bit of a pain. The Chinikai's got a nice gun, so's the Churchill 3, and the Excelsior, it's not so good apart from when it's spamming premium. Oh, and there's a Panzer 2J on the other side, and he's got 80mm of armour on the front, so he's got the same armour as a standard KV. Panzer 4 come to say hello. So let's go and support this Chinu. I normally load premium to start, which then gives me the option. I want to make sure that first shots count, and I don't want to be changing ammo in between. So when I'm deciding after the first shot whether to change down to standard, it gives me options. So I would rather get the first shot in rather than the enemy potentially getting the shot in. So we move up onto the ridge over here where the Covenanter is at the moment. Try and get shots down from there into the valley. Try and get some spots and shots, and be able to bring the gun to bear. And you can see the speed. We didn't look at that properly. Speed-wise, here we are up to 20 kph, 21, 22, going up uphill. So it's still quite mobile. Let's see what we can spot. Come to the top of the ridge and then see what we can do from here to let the binoculars kick in. There we go. Aiming over the side. Wait for the binos to kick in. Oh, and that Panzer 2J wants to go and die. Oh. What's the point of getting a premium tank and then just trying to die? Well, you can't exactly rush and die in a Panzer 2J. Got the M4 there. He's going to be backed up by Artie. I'm watching the centre because we're a little bit light in the centre at the moment. There we go. First target. And we need the premium. Didn't pen. So even with a... There we go. Shot in. A normal shot may not have gone in. The accuracy at this range isn't the best. And the equivalent armour at this range is about 101mm. So the standard ammo would not have penned. So there was no point in switching at that point by seeing what the equivalent armour was that you need. So 101mm, the standard shot wouldn't have penned. Let's try and get in the flank. I'm trying to come in on the Excelsior, get in at the flank, and then come round behind the Churchill 3. He'll be dead before then, so let's go for the Churchill 3 instead. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's try standard ammo, which should be effective. Let's push down, get Artie safe. Come in behind him. He's probably, if he's got any sense, he would have changed direction. No, he's dead. Okay. Now time for us to change. Now you saw that I changed ammo, because from behind I should have been able to penetrate the Churchill 3 anyway. So you don't have to use premium with this. So I've still got that loaded, because I know there's a Bishop, the Chinokai, the Panzer 2G, all of which I can penetrate with standard. The Bishop's going to be a bit close, but let's see what we can do. We've got shots on him. Too far away. T1 heavy. It's going to be interesting moving in on him. So we're going for the Bishop. Panzer, the G is over there somewhere. So I'm moving up, spotting that direction. There we go. So even standard ammo is okay. So this is what you want to be able to do. I'm going to try and get shots down on the T1. He's trying to get hull down, and I'm trying to get shots in. So we're trying standard first. Okay, we've tested it. Didn't pen. Still didn't pen. So standard ammo on the side of a T1 isn't working. So, but I wanted to test it out. Now we've got the Chino over there. Standard. Oh, let's switch to standard. Standard should have done it. I apologise. I didn't intend to. I wanted to be in standards, but the standard would have penned as well. It just cost more money. So that was just a normal game in the 220. What you can do with it straight out of the box, how effective the ammo is, and you can deal with anything on the battlefield. So let's have a look. So experience 1752, 25,000, almost 26,000 credits, and a third class. So damage 403, spotting 342. So it's a nice combination. 5 shots. Let's have a look in and see more details. So experience, we're 4th on the team, which is okay. Still got 2 kills. And 12 shots fired, 8 hit, 5 penned. So it's okay, but I wasn't using all premium. You don't have to use all premium with this. And came away with 11,000 credits. That's 732 experience times 2 plus a bonus for 1,757. So this is what you can do with the KV-220. Now let's have a look at the mobility. Top speed of 33. The power to weight ratio, you're looking 13.56, which is bumped up a little bit because of the vents allowing you to be able to get that little bit extra speed from the driver. The drive I'm running is actually from my IS4, and it's got off-road driving, which enhances things as well, and his skill is up to 121. If you put in chocolate, then this would bump it up by an additional 5%, or combat rations. So if you put combat rations in, then the skill will jump from 121%, I'll show you, up to 132%, which is even more significant. It doesn't show on the actual figures, but that additional percentage increase really makes a bit of a difference. So that's another option you've got, but then you would lose the fire extinguisher. So if you think you're going to catch fire, stick with the fire extinguisher. Otherwise, that's an additional way of boosting the KV-220. So this is out of the box, and this is what you can do. It's a really nice, solid tank that's really good fun to play. So yeah, I recommend this, and is it worth it? So it's not a bad price for something that's so good, and it's a great way of testing and training your Russian heavy crews. So the KV-220, yes, this is it. It's an excellent tank, really, really good on many levels, and being able to do that game, coming out with that experience. And let's have a look at the WN8. So WN8 for that game, okay, it's only 27. WN8 of 654. So there must be a lot of people doing really, really good games in it. So if you want a good WN8 in it, it's probably, unless you're exceptional at playing it, it's not going to be the best. But for making credits and having some fun, this could well be the tank for you at tier 5 and grinding your heavy Russian crew. So yeah, I would say go for it. So have fun. I'm the Gaming Bear, and see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.